I've got, what's over here? I've got this big painting of the little pot right here with the flowers. I am getting into a gallery on Saturday. Yay! Isn't that awesome? So I'm going to be doing a special gallery presentation for Gallery 55 in McCall. We load up the walls on Saturday afternoon, and a lot of my big, beautiful paintings are going to be part of their next show. Yay! I haven't done that for a long time, everybody. I know, it seems like I must be doing something every week, but I'm not. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead. Tonight we're going to do something really fun, a little bit different. I've got this enormous 24 by 36 canvas, and I grabbed some old photos. I worry about these old photos fading and wandering off, and you're not going to be able to see them again. I just pulled out a sheet from like 1920 of my husband's family and went, oh, we got to paint that before it just dies. The little pictures are so small, and you just have to blow them up and do something great with them. So I've got a few to choose from. This is my great-grandfather. I call him Papa Frank, and he's just super cool. And so I've got him, and then I've got this little one here. I hope you can see it. This is actually my mom when she was about 2 years old, getting her little Easter basket fixed. And they're from the same photo. They all connect up. There's two men sitting on an old cellar door, and one of them's fixing my mom's old Easter basket. It's so cute. So anyway, I think what I'm going to do is this little girl, and I may put Papa Frank over here. We'll see. But meanwhile, I'm going to put our 2-year-old Dolly down here and see if we can fit her into the canvas in a beautiful way. Last time we met, somebody made mention that my canvas was too big for the painting. Well, it was. It was a great big canvas, and I was just using it as a chalkboard. So this time, maybe we'll make a painting out of it. How's that? Okay. Meanwhile, I'm going to begin by putting out some paint. I've got a little bit of gold ochre, and I'm going to just set that out on my canvas. And I also want to have something a little bit darker. I'm going to do this in a monochrome to start with. And so we'll come over and we'll put in hopefully a little bit of dark paint. I've got some burnt sienna, some gold ochre, and I just got some new white. Ooh, I'm so excited. Some new white paint. We'll have to test that out in a few minutes. But meanwhile, the background is white. I normally will cover it in another color and tone the whole canvas. And we might do a little bit of that. I'm just trying to pull myself together again. All right, here we go. So I'm going to use a thinned out paint. Here's my new set of filberts. Ooh, yay. I'm going to use a little bit of thinner, and I'm going to take out some of the darker. I'm just going to put a little bit of that, both those colors on my paintbrush. And I'm going to decide where this is going to go. All right, so I'm almost tempted just to put the little girl on and skip the whole other thing. I think I will. All right, she's going to almost be life size. So let's put the top of her head right here. And I'm going to just go as fast as I can and do kind of a gestural thing. Now, most of you guys would probably blow this up even bigger or do a graph to get it just right. But I'm going to just let it fly. If I don't like it, guess what? I'm just going to, I'll just wipe it off. It's not a big deal. We worry that our canvas is so precious that we're not able to, to relax a little bit and get into the motion of it. We get up real close and start fiddling with all the details. Well, don't get into all the details so fast. Just kind of loosely place things down. The looser you are, just getting the angles, your brain will eventually get really good at this, all right? And sometimes you're going to miss it by a mile. But after a while, you will figure it out. So I've got her little hands down here. Her skirt is kind of coming down like this. I got to watch out I don't make her too long because she's only a tiny girl. So we'll put this like that. And I'm still so embarrassed about my technical issues. Oh my goodness. You know, but we're all, I know by the, you know, we started out with doing Zoom things during the pandemic, and everybody had to start then. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? I've been doing YouTube for 12 years now, I think, maybe 13 years. But I normally, of course, do it with another camera. I do it with this long, large camera, which I forgot to even turn on. That's okay. We're just going to have some fun tonight. And so now I've got the bottom of the skirt down here, and then I'm going to see if this makes sense. If I just go down and put the little leggies in, and I'm going to think about where the shadows, here's the skirt and a little bit, the kneecap is kind of right there. That's the back of the knee, not the front. And then I have the little other part. Oh, she just looks like she's got serious thighs here. I got to be careful. We're going to go like this and then pull out a little calf. And you know what happens sometimes? I did Papa Frank not too long, years ago, and I did a sketch like this, and the feet wouldn't fit on the bottom of the canvas. Oh my gosh, I hate that when that happens. But this time I think we're going to luck out, and we're going to get the little leggy end, and here's this little calf. We all start out with such chubby little legs. My mother ended up becoming a leg model, actually. It's kind of interesting. When she got older, she was a model for a leg company. She's actually a pretty tall lady, and it was a company called, I don't know what, Instant Girder or something. It was before pantyhose. And so she had her own television commercial and all kinds of stuff. But it's interesting how we all change over time. Okay, now I feel like this is way too long. And the only thing that I can do if it's too long is I can make this bigger so it makes sense, but I'm going to double check it again. We tend to stretch things out, so I'm going to just come up and I'm going to go reverse and think about it a little bit more. Here's where the hands go. Maybe it's all right, maybe. I do wish I could hear your voice sometimes to hear somebody shouting, no, it needs to go a little bit bigger. Oh, I see. Okay, now I've got, it's so hard to see these faded out photos, but I love them. I just love them. There's just so much fun nostalgia. There we go. Now the head may have to get bigger, because if it looks too small, then it's going to look like an adult. Okay, so we've got the little hair. I think it's pretty close. You can barely see, you can't really see this part. You can't see, I've got this whole big t-shirt in my hand. You can't really see the front of the face at all outside of just a tiny bit of the cheek like this. And anyway, the original photo, this one of Papa Frank, I have a giant painting. It's actually the same size as this. And it is one of my favorite pieces that hangs over my fireplace, and with a great big huge gold frame. It's just a really fun thing, and it's got all kinds of interesting stuff on it. But I think we've got this pretty well. I do. Okay. So now what do I want to do from here? Well, I'm going to come in now with a slightly larger, well, that would be good if it had a brush on it. Okay, a slightly larger brush. And then I'm going to find where the lights are and where the darks are, but I will put the darks in first. So now I'm going to come in and just kind of find where a little bit more of the shadows are. A little shadow here. The skirt kind of comes up. I'm going to see if I can blow this up, and when we repost this, I'll try to blow this up a little bit, and so you can see this really cute photo. Okay, and then we'll just redraw, make sure that we have it correct. It's a lot of double checking and checking. And here's the little sleeve over here and the little arm. Isn't that cute? Yeah, really cute. And then I'm going to come in with a little bit of the lighter little gold. And then now I've got to find some white. Hang on. I've got this tube of white. This is what I end up doing sometimes. I'll take the end. This is a really big tube of paint, and I just cut the ends off because I get so tired of trying to squeeze it out all the time. So now I'm going to create a little bit of a lighter color. So I give myself a few different, I get a dark, a middle tone, and a light. Okay, so here's our kind of a middle tone dark right there. And then this arm has a little shadow underneath it, like that. Just like that. And then on our drapery, okay, our drapery has got a dark, and then it has a middle tone right there. And then it's going to have a light on top of it. And I'll take, probably what I'll do is I'll take a cloth and I'll wipe that out to where it will look nice and light. But I might, to start with, let's just do this. Let's go like this, and let's go, let's just cover it up. I'm going to get some of my medium. I usually only use thinner, but I think today we'll just play around a little bit with our Neo May-Gelp. And so I'm going to cover this up with the middle tone, like that. I've got that little collar. And this is where it gets fun. I'll get my little paper towel out, and I'll show you how to make this look as though it's cloth. Here we go. I'm going to take my cloth, and I'm going to go like this and pull out the highlight like that. Okay, so I can just rub it out, and it looks as though it's folding already. Okay, and then I can find some other spots that have got that kind of darker tone there, and then of course by the time I get layer after layer on this thing, it will look really, really amazing, because I will put in all the lights and the darks, and if I want to, then I'll go back in with color. But I want it also to look as though it's got some light just by being luminous. So I'm dipping into my medium, and then I can come up and remove a little bit like watercolor. You know, you can take and lift out some color. There it is. You can lift out that color a little bit and make it feel as though it's folding. It goes up and down. Dark, middle tone, light, middle tone, dark. And that's how I generally do it to start with. Okay. Now I'm going to come in, and I've got her hair is super light. So how am I going to make that hair look like? Well, hair is going to be dark like this to start with. I'll patch it in, and then I'm going to get my cloth again, and I'm going to dip it into my medium, and then I'll lift out some curls just for the drawing part of it. It's just fun. Okay, let's see if I can do it. So I'm going to lift out some of the lights like that. And then when I go back in with the paint, it'll be nice and thin, but I'll have just some areas that I can throw those light blonde hair into like that. You can't just paint white on white, you know. If you paint white on white, you're not going to be able to see it. So you want to have something like this to put that on. So now let's see if we can see it if I put a little bit. Well, not much. I'm going to have to let that dry a bit. And then here's our little collar. Okay. Let's see if we got the hair is going to come over the face too. All right. Now, how do I do this? Okay, this down here is in shadow. So I'm going to come down with a little bit of the middle tone. I don't want it too dark. Middle tone, and a little bit of that middle tone. And we'll go like that. And then there's a little shadow right there. And then let's see if we've got everything in place. I'm going to have a shadow that's going to set off the leg a little bit. That helps. So there's a shadow that makes her legs stand out. See that? Ooh, that's interesting. And then over here, I've got this leg is casting a shadow on to that leg, a little bit like that. And then around her is this is another shadow, which helps to set the leg off. So it's not going to just be lines going around something all over the place. You want to have tones up against tones. Where's my darkest dark? Right here. There's a dark there. I've got a little, I'm going to move that skirt out a little bit like that. And I'm going to put that a little darker. But this is nice and dark. There's actually a boardwalk that goes like this. We might think about that. We might not. Here's our little shadow color. This is just a monochrome to begin with, okay? What does monochrome mean? It means mono means one and one color, okay? One color. That means I haven't gotten into the exciting part of mixing tons and tons of color up. Here's our little shoe, and here's our other little shoe. Nice and loose. Nice and loose, everybody. And let's double check this. So we've got that. We've got the arm is going to come down like this. There's a little part of her dress that comes out. This is Easter morning, 1942. Yay! Isn't that fun? 1942. And a little bit of dark in here. The light can only be seen when there is dark around it, okay? You can't just do white onto white. It doesn't work. So, there we go. Here's it's all angles as well. So I'm matching these little angles on the dress. I'm not saying, oh, let's draw an arm. I'm saying, let's see how to match the angles before when they come around, and then they'll make hopefully a little girl. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to just come in down here, got a little shadow and a little dress. I'm going to make that more of a middle tone to start with so that I have somewhere to go. What does that mean? It means so I know that it's, oh, I'm missing in hand too. Okay. So that I have some place to work with, so it's a little bit darker so I can register my lights. That's what I've been trying to say. And that little skirt, I think, just like that, and then maybe a little bit down farther. It looks like they wore little layers of dresses. So cute, so cute. Okay, now let's find out how to come in with a smaller brush. And I will now figure out where that elbow is and how it goes this way. And there's a few little fingers that kind of wrap up around her hand. She's holding her own hand, it looks like. Yeah. So that arm has a hand. I hope I don't screw this up too bad. Anyway, we can always fix it later, but there's just kind of where the placement of the hand is. And there we go. Okay. I think that's going to work. It's always good to step back and look at it, though, just in case. One of the things that I like to let you know is that we can see things from a distance. If we put like a mirror about 8 feet behind you, you can turn around and go, oh, yeah, that looks right. Or a monitor in this case. And we'll just put it like this. Okay, so now if I want this to be lighter around here, then I'm going to come back in with a darker paint. And so I'm going to grab maybe a little dark. This one is a burgundy color, crimson. And I'm now going to come in right where I see that shadow. There's a shadow right here that is just part of the house, but I'm going to utilize that and put that shadow there so that it will kind of set the shoulder off a little bit. There's a little bit there, like that. Yeah. And then let's see where else I can go. Oh, in the front, yeah. Got a little dark turquoise. Turquoise and red makes a nice dark. And so now with this, I'm just measuring, and I'm going to put this into a darker color here. I'm just working now the background up to the little girl and finding just some way to set that color off a little bit. Set the tonal values off a little bit. There. Like that. I think I will put that shadow around her arm as well so it stands out. Isn't that fun? This is just kind of a fast and fun way of getting the drawing in quickly. What happens when you start picking away at it is it just sometimes just gets worse and worse and worse. And so if we can learn to keep it loose like this, it's often is a better result than if we you know, just draw it out and fill it in. That's not painting. That's paint by number. Here's a little shadow under the arm. And again, if I don't like this whole thing, I just take a rag and wipe it off. There's nothing scary. Though it does help if you do a picture of it ahead of time, maybe on paper before you hit canvas sometimes. But hey, we're brave. We can do it. There. Okay. That's just beautiful. I love it. Okay. And then I'm going to come down here again and get this shadow really established. Now, see, the darker I make that shadow around the dress, in fact, I think I'm going to take it all the way up. The lighter the leg looks, or the lighter the white looks that I've left behind. It's a little bit like watercolor there. And then, of course, when you do something like that, then you got to come back in and put some white in it later, but oh well. Okay. You can be a little bit more careful. All right, now the one of the lightest lights is this is going to be the top of the little girl's face right here, or not the face, but the hair. And so I'm going to now come up here and kind of think about what this is looking like. Bottom of the face looks right like that. Because I want the whites to be white on this dress. And so I'm just going to try to get this going this way like that. Okay, I'm just using really thin paint. A little bit of turquoise, a little bit of brown. And the darker I make the background, the lighter her dress is going to be, all right? Or her skin or whatever. So I'm going to throw in a little turquoise over here. And we're going to just, I think I'd like to just set the whole thing off with this kind of a darker background. Then I can always add sunlight later. Don't want it too gloomy. Yeah. Okay, now let's see if we can get this hair to kind of stand off by darkening up the background a little bit. And yeah, that's looking good. All right, get a little more thinner. Thinner. And then I'm just working that out. Okay, I'm gonna wreck this little shadow here. Who cares? Kind of like that. Okay. And see how it just, you can make it nice and loose and just kind of work your background out from the center. Or another way to do it is just cover the whole thing with transparent orange and wipe out the highlights. That's a second way that I have been known to do it. Okay, so now I'm going to take my rag at this stage, and I'm going to set my drawing down for just a second, or my photo down for a second. And I'm going to get some thinner onto my little cloth. Now is where I can come in and begin taking out some of the highlights again, if I can. Like that. Fold it to a clean spot. Like that. And remove some of the paint so that it stands forward. Yay! Woo! Just dropped a brush. Okay. Sometimes it helps to just get a great big brush and, you know, throw some wet stuff on there and cut through it. You can see how it will lift right off. We all hold our breath and hope for the best. I'm just putting on thinner. It's like chunky thinner. Thinner, thinner, chicken dinner. Got some purple in her hair. That's looking a little too light as I rub it in. And then I'll take a little bit of that right there. I'm just putting the thinner on. And then I'm taking out the area that I want. Let's see, there's that too. See how that just kind of, you're almost, I don't know what you're doing. You're doing a negative painting by wiping it out. I call this a wipeout painting. This first layer especially. And let's see, I want that shadow, but I want this a little bit lighter too. And of course, when I go back in, then it's going to be fun because I'll have, oh, let's see, let me get a little bit more. I can put in some blues and then it'll be, it's just a really nice effect. Blues and purples and all kinds of different things. Here's part of the little dress again. Okay, now, I think in order to get this to look like it's pretty good, I'm going to just take my brush, my big fat hardware brush, and come down. Boy, are we loose today. We are loose today. And work it out so it's a bit of what's called a vignette. Vignette just means it kind of fogs out on the side like that. So I hope you guys come and see me if you're in McCall next week on October the 6th. I think there's a big show that's going to be happening on, you know, we have an opening that's happening. I've just joined this gallery, so I don't really know much about what they're up to, but it's a beautiful gallery and it has some of the best, you know, best artists. They're mostly local, but boy, are they good. You know, you have to jury in. You can't just come in and say, I live in town and let me in. No, they're not going to let you in unless you are really good. So that makes me kind of happy. Makes me happy. Yeah, it's just right downtown McCall. Right down on the lake. It's beautiful. Okay, see how I'm just now, I'm thinning that beautiful paint out. It's got a little teal, a little bit of turquoise, a little bit of brown, a little, this is gold ochre, turquoise, and beautiful colors. Anyway, with the teal, it kind of makes it nice and a little bit more in the grays and the browns. Everybody asleep yet? Get some interesting drips going down the canvas. Okay, so let's get a little bit of white. And I'm not going to go too far on this thing. I like it the way it is, but let's see what happens if I put in some white. Oh gosh, that brush is trashed. Gotta wash your brushes out every once in a while. Okay, let's see. Here we go. There. Okay, now I can do the positive painting in white, and then you'll be able to see, hopefully, a little bit more of that dress popping out. Popping out. Here's a little bit down here. You can add lace if you want. Kinds of wonderful things. You can make the dress pink. You can, you know, once you get the monochrome down, it's all up to you what you want to do. So you can make her hair purple if you want. There we go. A little bit of that blonde. They used to call my mom, what did they call her? Swede. Yeah, Swede. I just love these old photos. I've made some old, some scrapbooks with these, you know, even using some of the old, oh, remember the rationing books from the Depression, from the World War II. I found some ration books of my grandmother's, and put those, you know, made copies of the pages with the stamps and the coupons and stuff, and made some really cool ration books or scrapbooks with them with the photos. Now I'll come down and fix that leg. All right. Isn't that cute? I just think that's so cute. Go through your grandma's photos, you know, or your own photos. Some of you guys are older and some of you have, and see if there's anything that's interesting enough to paint, and blow it up big so you can see it. Just blow it up big. And then you could, I just love painting them. It's fun. It's our own nostalgia. We're creating our own nostalgia. Okay, now here's where I'm going to do something weird. Okay, so this is supposed to be a light blonde. So in order to get that to look super light, I'm going to darken the background. See how light that looks? Yeah, much lighter, because I put the dark on there behind it. If you don't put the dark on, it's not going to look light. We did this last night in class. We were doing flowers, you know, for one of these kind of painting. And it was kind of funny because you couldn't, the flowers weren't looking light enough. I'm going to grab some more paint. The flowers weren't looking light enough. So I said, well, what are your options? When the flowers or something is not looking light enough, you can't make your canvas lighter. Nope. You've already got the lightest light. You've got white. So the only thing you can do is darken around the outside of it, okay? Outside of what is there. You have to darken around the light, and then it will appear to be lighter. I'm going to cut this little head this direction. So the darker I make this is ultramarine blue with my brown. What brown was that? Oh, that was burnt sienna with ultramarine blue is now going to become my darkest dark right here. That's going to set that light off. And then we'll rub that in again at some point. Okay? All right. Now, let's see. Throw a little bit of that there. Re-emphasizing that dark a little bit. A little bit of the drawing. Drawing with my paintbrush, not with a pencil. See if you can get away with that. Put your pencil down, you know. Do some drawing with pencil. I'm not saying not to do that. But draw with your paintbrush as your implement and see what you can get. I'm kind of just playing around with that a little bit and carving that leg in and then going around it. Putting that shadow in. Gonna put that dark shoe in like this. Nice and loose. Ooh, loose, loose, loose. Love it. I'm gonna work it out from the middle. So I don't see the lines as much, but I just see the shadow. There we go. Good. Here's the top of the sock. I gotta get that too. These funny little socks. Okay, now back in here, let's get more of that dark burnt sienna with that dark blue, that wonderful blue that makes everything dark. You don't use black. You could, but I think the blue with the burnt sienna works so much nicer. I don't want this to look like a night picture either, but I do want you to be able to see it. So I'm just making this super dark. Now I think I will shift to just a little bit of the blue, and I might put some streaks of light coming through here once I get this established. Okay. Practice your drawing every day, 15 minutes, and let me know if you do. I have another question for you guys. If you can, in the comments. I know sometimes it's hard to comment. I tried to even respond to a comment the other day and my keyboard wouldn't work. But I'm just wondering, have any of you ever bought a piece of art? And if you have, let me know what kind it was and what the subject was. Was it an oil painting? Was it a drawing? And let me know why. Okay? I'm trying to figure out why people do or do not buy art. Sometimes we don't buy art because we can make it ourselves. But I really am curious. I am so curious. I've been doing a little bit of a study on it. And so I love it if you would tell me whether or not you've ever bought a piece of art. And if you haven't, let me know that too. Just say, no, I never have. And then tell me why. It's probably budget if you're like me. Budget. Okay. Now we've got her body is coming forward because we're pushing the background back again, a little bit darker. Now, is there anywhere where we can put a little bit of dark right there where the curls are coming in under the collar? Not going to do too much more, you guys, tonight, but we got so much to do to get ready for this show. But I hate not being with you, so I'm just going to take the time. Yeah, okay. And we got a little sleeve. That is so cute, isn't it? Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay. So this looks like it comes out and around like that. I'm just about happy with it the way it is, except I want to smush out my vignette a little bit higher so it doesn't look like it's just resting on top of her head. Yeah, there we go. Isn't that interesting how you can just take gold ochre, burnt sienna, and ultramarine blue and create something that is just precious. And a little bit of thinner. Yeah, a little bit of thinner. Working it out. All I've really used is like a couple of brushes. Biggest one right there is about a ½ inch. And of course we use that great big huge one to apply the thinner. And that's all we need. So I'm just making it to where the strokes on the, I'm not painting it like a wall. In case you're noticing, I'm crisscrossing, making the strokes interesting. I'll go 1, 2, this back and forth, crossing it, not up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, I'm just doing that. I want to get the glare out just for a second, see if you can see that a little bit better. Oh my gosh, yeah, I think you can. So you can see all these lines are just going everywhere. And then I take my little Viva towel. I want to try something. I'm going to take this light down for a sec. I don't know if that's any better or not. There. Okay, there. And now I'm going to pull this beautiful, luscious, it's like chocolate with a little bit of blue in it. And I'm going to do small circles and rub that out into this classic staining of the canvas. That's all it is. We're just staining the canvas like that. Yeah. Working it in. Good. Let me know what you'd like to see, you guys, on Thursday night. I can do just about anything, almost, I think. It's so funny. I like teaching still life. I love portraits. I love figurative. I love, I can do landscape if you'd rather. Uh, Dogs, cows, horses, all kinds of different things. So let me know what you'd like to learn, and I'll do my best to try to cover everybody's subjects over a period of time. We just need to get our numbers up. We are still at about 2,700 every day. We just keep working harder and harder to get more people watching, and it's just always a challenge. Okay, the wetter this gets, the more it seems to glare. So we won't go too much longer here. Connect that up. Okay, now I'm going to step back and see anything else that I want to do for a sec. Uh-oh, got dirt on the back of her leg. That could have a better shadow under it there. Good. All right, well, that's the beginning. How many minutes have we gone? Who really knows? Because I can't see a thing. All right. Anyway, I hope that you've learned something tonight. Let's just see if that looks, yeah, that's a really good start on that little baby. And I think I might keep going with it. So I'm going to let this layer dry a little bit, and then I'll probably do a wash over the top with another really thinned out warm color. And then I'll do another wipe out of the highlights, and it'll start really, really flowing over 1 or 2 sessions. Now, I'm not going to do the same thing next week. Don't worry. I will be doing something a little bit different each week. But I hope that you learn something every time we meet. All right? Don't forget to share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. We have 35 videos available for you at this point, and they're all about a bunch of different things. So I'm going to break for now, and then I'm going to go in, and I'm going to see if this actually worked, or if I've just been talking to myself for the last 45 minutes. That's a possibility. Yeah. Geez. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you again soon. Bye for now.